A familiar face to NBC News and MSNBC viewers for years, Craig Melvin finally became part of the Today family in 2018. From his time in the early 2000s as a local reporter in South Carolina to now, his rise to the top has been a long time coming. Craig Melvin's schedule is not for the faint of heart. He told Parade that his alarm wakes him up each weekday morning at 3:45 a.m. After that, he says, "I've gotten it down to a bit of a science in that I can get out of the house in 22 minutes." He's picked up by a driver, typically before 4:15 a.m., for a commute that takes about an hour. Melvin uses that time to prep for the show, reading scripts and notes for Today, as well as his MSNBC show. He usually arrives at Today's studio in Rockefeller Center by about 5:30. Before going on air, he'll eat a breakfast he describes as very particular and never varies. Melvin joked, "I'm a creature of habit. I'm like a 70-year-old man. I have a non-fat yogurt every morning and I add nuts and blueberries." That routine also includes lots of coffee. By 9:30 a.m., Melvin revealed he'll have had 3 cups of coffee and a double shot of espresso to fuel him up for the day. In March 2020, a Today staffer tested positive for COVID-19. That staffer had been in close contact with Craig Melvin and Al Roker, which resulted in both having to remain in their homes and miss some broadcasts.
Craig and Al had some contact, so we're just in an abundance of caution keeping them home, but they feel good.
Melvin tweeted, "Feeling great this AM, thinking about our friend and colleague, thinking about everyone grappling with this right now. I'll be fine, so will we." In April, Melvin began hosting Craig Melvin Reports Coronavirus Pandemic, airing for 2 weeks in the slot where his MSNBC show normally ran. NBC News said Melvin would safely report with a slim crew from key locations critical to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, starting with the Central Park Field Hospital on Monday. For his broadcast, Melvin would be joined remotely each day by a doctor on duty to provide expert insight. On a July 2020 episode of Today, Al Roker brought up the topic of mentoring and asked Craig Melvin who his mentor was.
Roker's become my secret mentor. He didn't even know he's my mentor.
I had no idea.
It was many years earlier, quote, before anybody started paying attention to me at 30 Rock, that Melvin asked Roker to lunch. To his surprise, Roker agreed. Melvin said, "I wanted to pick his brain about his production company, the industry, navigating the waters. To be able to do what Al has done for 40 years, it's a feat." Over the years, Roker and Melvin have grown to become close friends. Roker wrote for Variety, "I'm just going to come right out and say this. I have a man crush on Craig Melvin, and I don't care who knows it." 2 high-profile NBC scandals rocked the network, but also served to fuel Melvin's rise through the ranks. In fall 2017, Today anchor Matt Lauer was axed after Variety detailed various sexual harassment allegations by numerous women. According to a report on ET, both Melvin and Willie Geist had been angling to replace Lauer. Our Online reported Melvin was, quote, "devastated when the gig ultimately went to Hoda Kotb." Then another opportunity arose. In August 2018, Melvin stepped away from the Saturday edition of Today, with Page 6 speculating it was for him to join the weekday show. The State reported that this came to pass less than a week later when Melvin was bumped up to weekday anchor on Today. Melvin said, "The dream has come true. It's a pinch myself moment." Weeks later, NBC's high-profile new hire, Megyn Kelly, was fired over some controversial comments about blackface. The former Fox News personality's abrupt departure left an hour-long hole in NBC's daytime schedule, which led to the creation of the third hour of Today, with Melvin and other Today personalities appearing in the studio of Kelly's canceled show. Being impeached for lying about an extramarital affair with an intern is apparently still a bit of a sore point for former U.S. President Bill Clinton. Craig Melvin found that out firsthand when he spoke with Clinton during a Today interview in June 2018. Melvin asked whether Clinton would have approached the accusations differently if the scandal had occurred, quote, "with everything that's going on with the Me Too movement." Clinton insisted, "I don't think it would be an issue." Clinton's tone turned testy when Melvin asked if he had ever apologized to his former intern.
I've never talked to her, but I did say publicly on more than one occasion that I was sorry. The apology was public.
The interview stirred up controversy for Clinton while promoting the book he and author James Patterson had written. When he and Patterson subsequently appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Clinton said of the Today interview, quote, "It wasn't my finest hour," adding that he was mad at himself when watching it back. Craig Melvin married Lindsay Zarniak, an on-air personality for ESPN and a former NBC sports correspondent, in 2011. At the time of their wedding, the couple opened up to the Washington Post about their relationship. Melvin said of his bride, "She loves life. She stops, she smells the roses, she picks a few and she shows them to me. Here, smell these." The couple have 2 children, son Delano and daughter Sybil. Zarniak left ESPN in 2017 and told The Washington Post that while, quote, sports is still very much her love, she would actually like to cover a broader range of topics as a journalist. In 2019, she joined Fox Sports, focusing on NASCAR and working as an NFL sideline reporter. In addition to her journalism career, Zarniak also has an occasional side gig as an actress. She played a character named Mist in the 2000 sci-fi action movie Aquarius and had a brief cameo as a news anchor in the 2010 horror flick Ghosts Don't Exist. Given that Craig Melvin is black and his wife Lindsay Zarniak is white, they have had to navigate some cultural divides. This led Zarniak to post a 3-part interview series on Instagram, including conversations on uncomfortable issues surrounding race. In one of these interviews, Zarniak spoke with her mother-in-law, Betty Jo Melvin, about her reaction when she found out her son was dating a white woman.
I told him that love has no color. Your skin color didn't matter as long as you loved him and he loved you.
While Betty Jo Melvin may not have been focused on skin color, she knew that wouldn't be the case with everyone her sons encountered. As a result, she taught them that whatever they were undertaking, they would have to compete a little bit harder. They can't do the same things and get the same results as someone that has the same qualifications that they have if he's white or someone else. So you teach your children from when they're younger that I need you to be more. You have to push them hard. Author Malcolm Gladwell's best-selling book, Outliers, proposes an intriguing theory. To achieve true mastery in a field, any field, one needs to spend 10,000 hours honing that particular skill. Melvin thinks Gladwell is onto something, calling himself a, quote, firm believer in the 10,000-hour rule in an interview with Serendipity. For Melvin, this meant serving as a journalistic one-man band in his early days as a broadcaster in South Carolina. Melvin said, I would drive the news truck to locations, run the cable from the truck to the camera, and report. I did it all, and that probably helped me in my career more than anything else. The December 16, 2020 edition of Today was an emotional one for Craig Melvin. He paid tribute to his older brother, Lawrence Meadows, who died of stage 4 colon cancer. Melvin first revealed his brother's death in an Instagram post, writing, colon cancer robbed him and us of so much. He was diagnosed at 39. He died Wednesday at 43. He spent a fair amount of time over the past few years raising awareness about the disease. We'll be keeping up that fight. On Today, Melvin admitted that his grief was tempered with relief.
He was suffering at the end, and when you have someone that you love and that you cherish, you don't want them to suffer anymore. So his suffering is over.
He also shared his thanks to the friends, the strangers who sent cards, texts, and prayers especially, and offered further gratitude to his co-stars on Today, our little TV family, as he called them. According to Melvin, you guys really held us up over the last few weeks, and it was a kindness and a generosity that we will never forget. In the summer of 2020, when protests erupted around the globe in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, Melvin hosted a timely NBC News virtual conversation titled Growing Up Black. Melvin explained why people commenting about his, quote, well-behaved biracial children tended to irk him. He said, they either look black or they're racially ambiguous, and I'm always struck when someone, a stranger, will say to me, oh, your kids are so well-behaved. And you know that they probably wouldn't say that if there were 2 white kids sitting there who are the same age. It's like, did you not expect my kids to be well-behaved? Melvin had previously opened up on Today about raising biracial children. He said of he and his wife, we like to think we don't see race, but since we've been married, we have become more aware of it than we were before we were married. Since we've had children, we've become even more aware of it, and we've talked about how do you rear biracial children in an environment like this. Craig Melvin is usually seen on TV wearing a suit, but he apparently has a buff bod concealed beneath. Maintaining that fit and healthy physique, he told City Lifestyle, is something he insists on making time for. Melvin admitted there's a certain degree of vanity in his quest to stay fit, saying, if I didn't do what I do for a living, I'd probably be 300 pounds. My primary motivation for hitting the gym is that I don't want to look fat on TV. Melvin says his philosophy is, quote, old school when it comes to the gym, relying on a regimen that includes running and lifting weights. He explained, in the winter, I'm in the gym. I'm an elliptical guy and I need 20 minutes of cardio or I don't feel like I've worked out sufficiently. He added that when it comes to weight training, he swears by low weight, high reps. Like a lot of us, Craig Melvin wears contact lenses to see clearly. Those same lenses that correct his vision nearly caused him to lose it. Melvin told People, I was one of those people that did not listen to their ophthalmologist when they would tell them repeatedly that they should not sleep in their contact lenses. I never had any problems when I did, so if my eyes got dry, I would just use re-wetting drops. I just thought that maybe my eyes were different. When he began to notice persistent redness in his eyes, Melvin finally heeded his coworker's advice and visited a doctor, who told him his filthy habit of sleeping with his contacts had resulted in developing a corneal ulcer. Melvin's diagnosis led him, for the first time ever, to wear glasses on the air, and he offered advice for viewers who wore contact lenses.
Thanks, don't let this happen to you.
I know.
Working on one of America's most watched morning shows pays a lot more than Craig Melvin earned when he first launched his broadcasting career at WIS News 10 in his hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. Once he landed at NBC, it's safe to say that the size of his paycheck improved significantly and became even bigger when he joined Today. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Melvin has a net worth of $6 million and reportedly earns $3 million per year as Today's weekday news anchor. According to People, Melvin and his wife Lindsay Zarniak can afford to live in a sprawling suburban home in Connecticut with 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. Melvin's domain is the basement, which boasts such luxurious features as a media room, home gym, a wine cellar, and a full bar. With 2 young children in the house, Melvin joked the basement is also, quote, the only place in the house where you can occasionally find 45 seconds of almost quiet. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite TV personalities are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.